directly from Scotland, all the way to Bristol, winner of the Food Street Award. Today's program, Katie and Kim.
Elzabel, Katie.
Isabel, Katie, Elzabel, Kim.
And together they are Katie and Kim. Tell us, where are you going to go today?
So we're going to cook Yorkshire puddings.
Nice. And you know where this came from?
I'm assuming Yorkshire. I don't actually know, to be honest with you. It's definitely British because I think the roast dinners are quite British, aren't they?
Yeah.
And with beef you have it. But the thing about this that I'm making, this Yorkshire pudding, it's called the Yorkshire pudding, and I think you might all think that it only comes with roast beef, but what I'm going to show you today is, with Kim, is that you can have it at any time. Say you're making food and you want like soup and you're like, oh, I could do with some bread, but you don't have any bread. Slam up a couple of Yorkshire puddings.
So versatile, isn't it?
Yeah.
So versatile.
It's a puff, basically. It's a batter that goes into a puff. So we're going to make these Yorkshire puddings with, Kim's going to do, what are you going to do, Kim?
I'm going to make a plum compote with star anise, which is my favourite spice. And I'm going to serve that with creme fraiche. And that's the sweet option. That's just one sweet option.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to do a traditional steak. I've got fillet steak because I'd like it to be cooked now instead of stewing it or roasting it. So I've got a really nice fillet here. And we're going to serve that with
So on the
horseradish.
pricey side, but worth it.
Yeah, we don't cut corners. I was like, Kate, have you got anything valuable in your bag? Because we left outside. She's like, just my makeup.
I'm not got any on at the moment, by the way. We've been to hot yoga.
This is horseradish, and I'm gonna grate it into some creme fraiche with some lemon, and we're gonna serve that with the savoury dish.
So, I would like to start with doing the puddings because they take the longest. So what I've done is I've got the oven on a very hot temperature, and I'm going to put my tin that I'm going to make the Yorkshire puddings in here. Now, you can use ramekins or oven-proof coffee cups also for a big puff, but I'm just using this because this is all I have.
And while Kate's doing that, I'm going to start on the plum compote because that can be like bubbling away while we're cooking the rest.
It's quite exciting because we are making two dishes at the same time.
Yeah. 2 part milk, 1 part flour, and 1 part egg. So I'm just going to measure out my flour because I want to whisk the eggs and the milk in this. So I'm going to do 8 fluid ounces of flour.
We have a horse box which we converted into a kitchen that we cook in, and we take it round. We used to have a permanent spot in Bristol, but we also can move it around, but we're not very good at driving it, so we don't actually get too far. But we recently entered the British Street Food Awards, which we won. We came first, yeah, and we beat Spain, we beat France, beat Germany, and beat Sweden. That's the plum, and I'm going to add some brown sugar and some star anise. And I was going to add a little bit of cinnamon, but I'm not going to actually.
It doesn't need to boil into a jam, and so it doesn't. So you can just add as much sugar as you want, can't you? So,
Yeah.
so to taste, because Kim doesn't like sweet things,
No.
so she's always quite minimal on the fruit.
Sugar.
On the sugar, and I really like a lot of, I've got a very sweet tooth, and so together it's really nice because it means that Kim doesn't put as much sugar in, and I would always want to be putting more in, and I don't, and I realise it's just as nice. Oh, I'm out of breath, why?
Hungry.
I'm adding bay, which is something that you can find probably quite close to you wherever you are in Britain. There's usually a bay tree near, and it's usually used while cooking savoury foods, but it's really nice in compotes and things like that.
Okay, do you want to come back to the Yorkshire puddings?
Yeah.
So I've measured out the flour, and now I'm adding milk and eggs. Whisk the eggs in the milk until it becomes one whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? It's good, you know when you make pancakes, it's really nice if you leave them overnight and the batter overnight, because you're hydrating the flour. So I'm going to leave this.
I'm just going to
Keep that on.
just gonna wash the.
So basically, that's it. Let's leave that for half an hour. How simple. These are so simple, that's the thing. This is what I love about this. And most of my cooking is very, very simple. It's not, I think some people get a little bit confused and like if they, for example, you know when you have a dinner party or something and you're like, oh, I got to, if I'm making food for people, I've got to make a big effort. And if you're making a big effort, you feel like there's got to be lots of stages and it's got to be really, not at all. I think the best food is really simple, really simple. I mean, if you look at our ingredients, we're not really doing much to anything, are we, Kim?
No, we're not.
I mean, we've stuck plums in a pan with a little bit of sugar and some spices and herbs are brilliant.
Essential.
And they're incredibly good for digestion. But do not think that I cook. I never really think about
health.
I won't compromise taste for health. You should, but I don't. I'm just naturally healthy.
I'm gonna grate some horseradish.
Did you watch the Turner Prize last night?
No.
A French one. The French lady.
They did win the street food award, so they got the Turner Prize. Gotta give them something. I put a thimble of horseradish, a little bit more than a thimble of horseradish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the lemon juice now.
Kim is always funnier than me.
You always laugh.
I'm the wise one.
Oh, what I've done is I've got some grated horseradish and some lemon juice, and I'm just going to add a pinch of sugar and a pinch of salt. So what I'm now going to add is creme fraiche. We just add what we like.
It's quite free.
It's free.
So now it's time I can bring, so the tray I put in the oven so that it was hot. The oven's really high so that we get the puff with the Yorkshire pudding. Batter back into the oven, high oven, for 10 minutes. And we'll reduce the temperature in 10 minutes.
Is to cook the steak. You might notice I've left it out. I don't want it in the fridge because it's not good to cook steak from chilled.
Why?
Because when you're cooking a steak, I quite like my steak rare. If you're cooking it from chilled, the middle won't cook properly because it's already very, very cold. So you need it to be at room temperature before you cook, otherwise it's not gonna be nice. Plus you want to relax the muscles of the meat. So you want it to warm up so it's not tight when you cook it. But, I'm just gonna make a jus with the juice is left in the pan. I'm just gonna add some rosemary and bay.
And that's red wine.
That red wine is picking up all the juices left from the meat. I'm also going to add a tiny bit of sugar. Lots of people don't use sugar in savoury dishes, but I think it's quite important. It's getting a balance, and that's what they use a lot in kind of like Asian cooking. All the savoury dishes they use a lot more sugar than us, but people in Asia say that people in Europe don't know how to use sugar. I heard that once on the radio. They don't know how to use sugar when cooking. So I made sure we used it in everything. Oh my god, that's brilliant! Doesn't look like I'm whistling. I'm whistling. Yeah, no, I can do it like a...
Crispy on the outside,
So that's how just checking it.
and soft inside.
Oh wow, that's delicious.
Really?
Quite salty.
I'm gonna add the jus. And we're gonna finish it with a bit of dill as well. And that's steak Yorkshire pudding. Would you like to try some?
lived up the top of this really high building, and the stairs just went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And one evening we'd been at Kim's house and we were moving somewhere because we had suitcases. I don't know where we were going, but we were pretending, it was night time, and we were pretending as we were running down the stairs that we were going off on a business trip together. And I mean, it was only about 6 or 8 years after this that we actually finally got together.